Hello and welcome. I'm Gargi Rawat and you're watching me on youtube.com/NDTV. This is the site to go to for all the videos from NDTV and all our shows. Now every day we ask you what are the top 5 stories, what are the top stories that you want to know about, and we give you a list of our top 5 stories of the day. Now the top story is Air India crew to stay in isolation, community surveillance needed, WHO scientists. This is regarding the coronavirus outbreak and the fact that 2 confirmed cases were found in India yesterday. Now an absurd story is what BJP MLA in Assam said, that Gau Mutra Gobar may cure coronavirus, and this is something we're going to go into more deeply given the fact that at this time when there's this coronavirus outbreak and now there are fears that it could spread in India as well, we really need to have a science backing any statement that comes from any leader. Thinking of giving up social media, tweets the Prime Minister, and that created quite a flurry on social media, as you can imagine, though some are saying, and this is of course right now still speculation, but he said that he will announce something on Sunday. Now Sunday is International Women's Day, and many feel that he is going to hand over his social media accounts to some prominent women perhaps for the day and let them function his account. So that of course is just a lot of speculation right now, but many reactions to this. And the story that many of you want to know about, Delhi violence victims left in the lurch, and there are lots of criticisms of the Delhi government and the centre about steps taken now after the Delhi violence broke out, and so many people have had to leave their homes, so many people are without homes, have been victims of the violence. Is enough being done by the government? Now we do know a lot of NGOs and citizens are doing a lot of money is being collected, money or even items are being collected like mattresses and medicines and daily need items and being distributed by NGOs there in the affected areas in northeast Delhi. However, a fact-finding team went, NDTV's own reporters also went to see really what is the situation on the ground. Let's just take a look at that report. In fact, Delhi violence, many of the victims have been left in the lurch is what is being claimed, and there have been detailed announcements on how relief is going to be provided to all those affected by the violence. But a fact-finding team did see that there were a lot of vacuum in the entire process. So let's just take a look at this statement by one of the people. Okay, first just to tell you, this is a former Jawan who served India in Kashmir as well, and his house has been destroyed, and he sent his family, he says, to other parts, but he is currently living in a relief camp. Take a look.
In Mustafabad that has been turned into a relief camp by the Delhi Waqf Board. The Eidgah camp can accommodate 1,500 people. 58-year-old Aish Mohammed, who served for 22 years in the CRPF, including in Kashmir, is also here. His house too was set ablaze by rioters. He has sent the rest of his family to his hometown, Bulandshahr.
दंगाई आए 200 से 250 की तकरीबन उनकी संख्या थी, और उन्होंने आके पहले पत्थरबाजी की और फिर जो है पिस्टल से फायरिंग शुरू कर दी, और सारा हमारा सामान रखा हुआ था वो कुछ चोरी करके ले गए। भाई यही है, अब तो कुछ अब ऐसा लगता है कि शायद इस देश में हमारे को जीने का हक ही नहीं है।
Alright, so that is one of the camps where people are living, and heartbreaking stories like that emerging about how people have just lost their homes, their livelihood, and also the fear, because that's another aspect that you really need to focus on, the fear about what if this happens again, what if you build your life again and once again it something happens to spark some sort of violence and it gets destroyed. So a lot of questions being raised over whether enough is being done by the government in these areas, and is enough being done to provide people with relief materials. Now, the other big story today is the coronavirus outbreak, and 2 cases have been detected yesterday. One of a person from Delhi who had traveled to Italy, and another a person from Telangana who had traveled to Dubai. He came back to Bengaluru, and from there he traveled by bus to Hyderabad. So you can imagine now everybody, the governments in both Telangana and Karnataka are now working to find out who all this techie came in contact with during that time, because he only developed the symptoms much later. And the flight on which the Delhi man came, the Air India has told its crew who came on this flight, it was from Vienna that this flight came on the 25th of February, they've asked all the people to stay in isolation, to stay in their homes for the next 14 days, just to see if they develop any symptoms of coronavirus. So very, very worrying, as you can imagine, for everybody. And also at this time when now we're expecting that coronavirus, we are going to hear more cases. There's another Italian tourist who's traveling in Rajasthan, and in Jaipur he developed the symptoms. He's in the hospital right now. One test of his came negative, then the next test came positive, which apparently doctors have said that if it comes positive, that means he does have the virus. But given that his first test came negative, they've sent it for a third testing, so we're waiting for those results. But he was traveling in a group, and they traveled all over Rajasthan, and his group has actually gone on to Agra. So again, you know, various measures will have to be taken to see who all he came into contact with and whether anybody else developed those symptoms of coronavirus. But just take a look at what a BJP MLA in Assam had to say, and she claimed in the assembly that Gaumutra, that's cow urine and gobar, may cure coronavirus. And she says that cow dung and cow urine are helpful in curing deadly diseases like cancer. Now, we don't know, I don't think there's any scientific evidence of it curing cancer. And however, for an MLA to make these kind of statements at a time when we only need to rely on professionals and scientists and doctors who really know how to deal with the outbreak right now, how you can protect yourself. And remember, the world is struggling right now to find any vaccine, any cure for coronavirus. So at this time, these sort of statements create, you know, some sort of confusion in people's minds. And you don't know, people may just you start using these items thinking that they could be protected from coronavirus. So take a look at what Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, who is a chief scientist at WHO, had to say on this issue.
You know, in a situation like this where we need scientific solutions to a medical crisis, when you get, in our country, for example, in India, BJP MLAs in Assam saying things like urine and cow dung can be beneficial in fixing something like coronavirus, COVID-19, don't we actually end up taking a step back, because we need to be dealing with this in a modern scientific manner?
I completely agree. I think all public figures and politicians should be extra careful about the statements they make, because of course they have such a huge following, and so it's really important to say things that are based on some scientific evidence and rationale. This includes things like using protective equipment and masks, which, by the way, ordinary people don't need to wear masks if you're healthy and you're not in contact with anyone with the disease. And also claims of cures of this infection. I think we have to be extremely careful about the statements that we make in public. It should be made by...
All right, so there you can see Dr. Swaminathan talking about how one has to be very careful about the kind of statements that are being made at this time when we are possibly dealing with more, you know, we're going to learn about more people being infected by this virus. And finally, the Prime Minister created quite a tizzy on social media when he announced that he would be leaving his social media accounts. He's saying this Sunday, thinking of giving up social media. Now this created a lot of tizzy and a lot of speculation about what it's all about, though so far a lot of people feel that this is a stunt in the sense this is a move to create awareness on International Women's Day, which is on Sunday, and possibly the Prime Minister will hand over his social media accounts perhaps to women, some prominent women who to take over for that day and put out messages on International Women's Day. So we don't know right now if that's correct, but that is the speculation. But just take a look at some of the reaction. Now, Rahul Gandhi was quick to respond, where he says, Prime Minister, don't give up social media, but give up hate. And so he tweeted about this, where the Prime Minister said that, you know, may give up social media. This Sunday, thinking of giving up my social media accounts on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Will keep you all posted. So Rahul Gandhi says, give up hatred, not social media accounts. But people, as we said, a lot of reactions to this. In fact, no sir was the top trend on Twitter after the Prime Minister's tweet, with many saying, sir, do not give up social media. So we'll have to wait till Sunday to find out what it is the Prime Minister is planning to do. Well, that's all from me. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.